Yeah, this thing is pouring white smoke all over the fucking place. I got the motherfucking window down for some reason. Yeah, so I just bought the car, changed the battery, and this car has not been driven in a year. Oh, it's low on oil. Fuck. God damn it. Wow, broken down 335i. Have you ever seen that before? A broken down BMW, Nate?
No, I've never seen a broken down BMW.
No, they don't break down often, that's why.
Must be.
How did this car end up in my driveway? It's a real question. Well, I drove it. But how did it come into my ownership? Well, that's another question. This car has been abandoned for about 2 years in a parking garage. I heard it was for sale by word of mouth. It wasn't on Marketplace or Craigslist or anything like that. And I saw the opportunity to buy this car and I jumped on it. So, the problems with the car. It smokes like a motherfucker. That's why I don't even start the car. It smokes very bad. Last time when I drove it up the driveway, it smoked up like the whole fucking neighborhood. Like, bad. Also, this car was taken in for an airbag recall. And it had an aftermarket clutch, single mass flywheel, still has a single mass flywheel, but somebody at BMW broke the original clutch that was with the single mass flywheel. They put a stock clutch back in it, which is incompatible with the single mass flywheel. And the car, when the clutch is pushed all the way in, the clutch is not fully disengaged. So you can't even like shift gears really. You have to start the car in gear. And you have to shift with the RPM. It's kind of, you know, floating gears essentially. This thing's fucked. Big time. Now getting the car out of the parking garage was a little difficult. The problem was no tow truck could fit to get down in there that was low enough, essentially. The ceiling was very short. It was like 6 feet, 10 inches. So there's no way you're getting a flatbed down there. And you can't use one of the snatchers because this car's so low, it's going to scrape. So we just decided to drive it out. Now the car hadn't been started in a year. It had been sitting for about 2 years, but hadn't been started in 1 year. The battery was completely dead. We tried to jump it. We got it to run, but it wouldn't stay running. That's how dead the battery was. So we ended up replacing it. I ended up replacing it. And then drove the car out. And it was at that moment that I realized just how bad the smoking on the car was. Now, I had been told that the car smokes really bad. That's a direct quote from the previous owner. But I was like, it can't be that bad. You know, it's not like it's going to fill up the fucking parking garage with smoke. Well, I was wrong. It filled up the parking garage with smoke. And when we got out, I tried to drive the car home instead of getting it just towed. So I was like, I think I can make it. Now, between the clutch issue, the car not wanting to fucking shift gears, and the amount of smoke pouring out of the back, I was like, you know, my heart was boom, 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 like the whole fucking time. Now, I get halfway down the highway on my way home, and it's fucking stopped. The traffic is insane. And because of the clutch issue, if you understand what I'm explaining about the clutch, how when it's pushed down all the way, it's still not fully disengaged. So if you're clutched in first gear, the car is still trying to move forward, even if you're clutched in, because it's only halfway disengaged. So it's kind of engaging still, even when you're pushing it all the way to the floor. So trying to stop was not really an available option with this, you know, journey. So having to stop, the car kept stalling and then trying to get it running again. And dude, it was the most stressful thing I'd ever done in my life. I ended up pulling over and calling a tow truck. And we towed the car home. Not to mention the window regulator snapped for the rear passenger side window on the highway. Because I was, had the windows down for some reason. But I ended up replacing that the other day too. Right now I've got the window taped. Regulator replacement is pretty simple. You pull that trim piece off using plastic trim tools because you don't want to break any of this shit. And then there's 3 T15 Torx bits. One in here, and then one up here. You gotta pull this off. And you get access to the door panel. Once you're under the door panel and you take all that sticky shit off, For some reason, BMW was in love with sticky fucking rubber for the E90. Well, there's going to be a connector right here, and there's going to be a couple of 10 millimeters, 3 of them. And then this bitch should come out. Make sure this window doesn't fucking fall in, because it'll turn into a fucking all-day job. Ask me how I know. Old regulator's out. As you can see, this thing is fucked all over the place. This is a new one. I already transferred the motor over. Don't think this is a genuine BMW part, but I've used this part before, my old E90, and it worked just fine. Before I reinstall that though, I'm gonna go ahead and wipe down this door panel a little bit. Seems a little bit dirty. It still looks like shit. New regulator's in. Window is complete. Everything's nice in here. I just need to tighten these bolts. Throw this piece of foam back in that I took out. Some Phillips head screws. And then reassemble the door panel. I was looking for the other screw for this thing because I happened to lose it. And I'm looking around and I open this box. Yeah, that's funny. Finishing touch. God damn it. More like the finishing push. Oh yeah. She's done. Now in my evil lair, I will show you some parts that I have purchased for the vehicle. So, going with OEM Luke, I got this 335 IS clutch. Comes with a pressure plate, some other shit. And this is a OEM dual mass flywheel from Luke, same fucking brand, OEM. Now you might be asking, why am I going OEM? Why not put another single mass flywheel? Or since the car already has one, why not just put another clutch that's compatible? Well, I like OEM. All lightweight flywheels, single mass flywheels that, go on the N54 chatter. They chatter like a motherfucker. And this is my daily driver, or it's going to be, that's the plan. And I don't want a lot of chatter. That's very annoying. Also, I'm not really planning on pushing more than 450 at the wheels. So OEM clutch and flywheel is perfect for this build, essentially. Now I've heard that if you're going to be pushing over 500 at the wheels, you don't want to use a OE dual mass flywheel because you run into balancing issues. But for the application I'm using it for, this should be perfect. And stay tuned, because in the next part, I'm changing out the clutch in my driveway on jack stands. That's going to be fun.